In this video, we will show you how to install a level DesignRail aluminum railing with CableRail Infill. The concepts in this video can be applied to other DesignRail configurations. Please watch the video in its entirety before you begin your installation project. We also recommend that you download and read through the installation instructions on our website. Before you begin, be sure to consult local building codes for railings in your area. Our DesignRail aluminum railing system will be installed on a rectangular deck. Our railing will include a bottom rail and our Series 200 rectangular top rail. You can use the same installation method for our round or elliptical top rail. Posts will be secured to the deck surface using a base plate that is pre-attached to the post. You'll need to add wood blocking attached to the deck substructure to properly anchor posts with lag or through bolts. Our railing will be 36 inches in height, with posts spaced 6 feet apart and an intermediate picket positioned mid-span between posts to minimize cable deflection. Your railing height and post spacing will be dependent on your project parameters and local building codes. We will be using 9 CableRail 1/8-inch standard assemblies for our railing infill. Each CableRail assembly has a threaded terminal end, which has been permanently attached to the cable with a special hydraulic press. The assembly also includes a snug grip washer nut and flat washers, as well as a quick connect fitting for the other end of the cable. We'll be using polyethylene end caps to cover, protect, and provide a finished look to the assemblies. Your DesignRail order will include all posts, rails, hardware, and infill. Be sure to review your packing slip to confirm quantities of parts. You will also receive a layout drawing for your railing. You will need the following tools: tape measure, square, level, chalk line, safety glasses, work gloves, permanent marker, vice grip pliers, 7/16" wrench, CableRail cable cutters, cable release tool, Feeney cable lacing needle, Feeney tension gauge, electric miter saw with fine-tooth non-ferrous metal blade, electric drill and drill bits, number 2 square drive bit, 9/16" hex socket, electric grinder with cutoff disc and grinding disc, or a hacksaw. Before you begin installation, first identify all post types by looking at the rail connecting bracket or RCB holes, which are used to attach the bottom rail. End posts have RCB holes on one side, while intermediate posts have RCB holes on both sides. There are 2 types of end posts for CableRail infill: a threaded terminal post and a quick connect post. These posts will have different size diameter holes based on the size of the fittings. Intermediate posts will have smaller holes for the cables to pass through. Position all posts according to the layout drawing included with your order. Make sure that all posts with RCB holes face RCB holes on adjacent posts. Fasten the posts to the deck surface by installing lag screws through retaining washers and the base plate. Posts should be plumb and in line with one another. Cover each screw with a cap. When using a base plate, it is critical that the lag screws have proper penetration through the deck and blocking material. These recommendations vary based on final rail height and other project parameters and can be found on our website. Once all the posts are mounted, we are ready to attach the top rails. Cut each top rail section to length using 45-degree mitered cuts and place into position over the top of the posts. Don't screw the top rail to the post at this point. We'll do that in a moment. Insert a 90-degree splice plate into the first mitered top rail and slide the second top rail onto the exposed splice plate flush against the facing top rail. Fasten and stabilize the joint with 8 self-tapping metal screws. Continue assembling the top rail, making sure that all splice plates are inserted and fastened to top rail sections as each new top rail section is added, ensuring all seams are flush. Attach the decorative end plates to all exposed top rail ends using 2 number 8 flathead sheet metal screws. Now fasten the top rails to each post using 2 self-tapping metal screws. Each corner and end post will require 2 screws. Be sure that the screws run through the top rail flange and into the post. It's time to assemble and attach the infill panels between each set of posts. You'll need the intermediate pickets, rail connecting brackets, top rail infill inserts, and bottom rails. Locate the rail connecting bracket or RCB holes at the bottom of each post. Attach an RCB to each post with the open side down, using the included number 10 and number 12 self-tapping metal screws. Posts are pre-drilled with pilot holes for the screws. Attach all RCBs to all posts. Measure the distance between each set of posts just above the RCBs for the bottom rail length. Trim each bottom rail to 1/16 of an inch less than this measurement. Next, measure the distance between each set of posts just below the top rail for the top rail insert length. Trim the top rail insert to 1/16 of an inch less than that measurement. Now we attach the intermediate pickets to complete the infill panel. Determine the position of the pickets such that each section is equally spaced. Drill 1/4 inch diameter holes in the top rail insert and bottom rails at all picket locations. You'll need to slightly offset the 1/4 inch holes to line up with the screw chase hole in the intermediate picket. Attach the intermediate picket to the bottom rail and the top rail insert with number 10 3/4 inch pan head square drive screws to complete the infill panel. Install this infill panel by first tilting in the bottom rail onto the RCBs and then rotating the top of the panel inward. It should just clear the bottom of the top rail. Lift the infill panel and snap the top rail insert into place inside the top rail. Pre-drill 9/64 inch pilot holes and use 2 number 8 self-tapping screws to fasten the bottom rail to each RCB. Complete assembly and installation of all infill panels. The railing frame is complete. We are now ready to install the CableRail infill. Insert the threaded terminal fitting into the threaded terminal post and secure it with a flat washer and a snug grip washer nut. Spin the nut 2 to 3 full turns or until you feel resistance from the snug grip threads. Next, we lace the cables through the other posts. We recommend using our lacing needle for smoother threading through post holes. This prevents cable strands from catching on the sides of the post holes during installation. Lace the cable through all remaining posts and pickets, continuing around the deck. Finally, lace the cable through the quick connect post and remove the lacing needle. Cleanly trim the end of the cable. Attach a flat washer and a quick connect fitting onto the end of the cable and slide the fitting into the post. The special spring-loaded quick connect jaws only allow the fitting to slide in one direction and will automatically grip the cable. If you make a mistake, don't panic. You can use our quick connect release tool to disengage and remove or readjust the position of the quick connect fitting. Lace the other cables through the posts until all the assemblies have been installed. After all cables have been laced, we take the slack out of the lines. Hold the quick connect fitting with one hand and pull the cable tight with the other. The jaws will automatically lock when the cable is released. We are now ready to begin final tensioning of the cables. Return to the threaded terminal post and grip the hexagonal shaft of the threaded terminal fitting with a pair of vice grip pliers to keep it from spinning. Tighten the snug grip washer nuts with a 7/16 inch wrench to adjust the final tension in the cable. Be sure to follow the recommended tensioning sequence to help minimize stress on the railing frame and easily adjust uniform tension across all of the cables. Start at the center cable and alternate until all cables are tightened. We do not recommend using electric or pneumatic tools to tighten the snug grip washer nuts. If the nuts spin too quickly, there is a risk that the threads will heat up and seize. Trim the excess threads as close to the snug grip washer nut as possible. You may use an electric grinder with a cutoff disc, a hacksaw, or electric reciprocating saw with a metal cutting blade. At the quick connect end, use the same tool to remove excess cable that will impair the attachment of the end cap. Get as close to the quick connect fitting as possible. Finish the assemblies with the included polyethylene end caps. Snap them on over the exposed quick connect fittings and the snug grip washer nuts. Your railing is now complete. For questions about your installation, visit our website or call us toll-free at 800-888-2418. Send in your finished project photos for the chance to win big cash prizes.